So, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Movie Mania. I'm Connor.
And I'm Jodelyn.
And today we are going to be talking about the 5 worst movies of 2016, the 5 best movies of 2016, and 5 up-and-coming movies of 2017, just our thoughts on those, how we think they're going to turn out, and then we're going to be talking about the new movie Split that just came out a couple weeks ago. So, let's get started. We're going to start off with the worst, and first one on our list is Batman vs. Superman. Jodelyn, what do you got to say about that?
Batman vs. Superman was just really bad. I just hated it so much. It kind of just was not the best movie of DC, which it could have been better. It could have had more, it could have been better by a lot. It definitely just wasn't the best DC film that I've seen.
Yeah, I've never seen it personally, but I have heard some bad stuff about it, and just there wasn't the best storyline, and yeah, it was just lame overall. So I never really had the urge to go see it. I'm not super huge into Superman films, the Superman series or the Batman series. So Batman vs. Superman just really wasn't on the top of my mind there. But yeah, I've heard a bunch of bad things about it, so don't really feel like watching it after all those. So second movie on the list, we got Suicide Squad, which I have also not seen, but I know Jodelyn's got some stuff to say on it.
Suicide Squad was just not a very good movie either. Like, it's another DC film, and while it had some good aspects to it, it just wasn't. It was too much information in one sitting. It could have been told in a 5-hour movie, not just a 2.5 one. So, and it could have been split into 2 movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one, and there is a lot of talk about it, not because it's good, just because nobody really liked it. I've heard a lot of people say that they just couldn't really follow with it because there's just so much in the movie. So, not really something I want to see, but yeah, definitely made it on our worst of 2016 list. Third one we got is Allegiant, which is part of the Divergent series. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. And that movie is about how it's another young adult movie, and it wasn't as good as, say, the Hunger Games or Harry Potter because there wasn't enough information to keep it going. And the actors in it just weren't very good. It was monotone the whole time, and it just wasn't interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen Allegiant either. I've seen the first 2 Divergent series movies. Never really was into it. I thought it was more like the Hunger Games. I really did like the Hunger Games, and then when I went into watching the Divergent movies, I just thought it just seemed the exact same. So it really wasn't on the top of my list there, but yeah, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about it, just kind of lame, but yeah, definitely not something I would want to go see. So next one on the list, we got London Has Fallen, which I have seen. I'll go ahead and start off with that. It wasn't terrible, but it just didn't seem like it was really worth making. So this was a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, and when Olympus Has Fallen came out, there's also another movie called White House Down. They were both basically the same storyline and everything. White House getting taken over, Washington D.C. just getting taken over. London Has Fallen. They decided to go on with it to London, and it just wasn't. It was just kind of lame, not really worth it. And yeah, I mean, I like action. This had a lot of action in it, but it just, I don't know, it just seemed like too much, kind of cheesy, kind of fake. So yeah, definitely not on the, I mean, yeah, like I said, wasn't terrible, but yeah, definitely wouldn't see it again.
Our next movie is Ice Age Collision Course. This movie I actually haven't seen, but I can tell by seeing the other movies that they have made way too many of these. This is, I believe, the 5th one. Now, I have seen the first 2 when I was younger, and they were pretty okay, but when it kept going and going. I felt like it could have stopped after the first two.
Yeah, that's the exact same way I felt. Collision Course definitely doesn't interest me whatsoever. Maybe to a lot of little kids who have seen the other Ice Age movies. I remember when I was a kid, it came out, 2003, I think. The very first one did. I loved it. The second one was pretty good. And then after they started making more, it was when I was getting older, wasn't interested in those kids' movies. So Collision Course, obviously, just not interested to see whatsoever. But I agree with Jodelyn. I feel like they're making way too many, and they just need to stop. So.
Now for the best movies, our first one is Deadpool, which I felt like was an awesome movie. It had everything you expected it to from a Marvel movie. It was funny, it had action, and it had even a little romance. And there were so many references to different things, you just couldn't stop laughing the whole time. What about you, Connor?
I have not seen Deadpool, but I've heard a lot of stuff about it, and like a lot of good stuff, great ratings and stuff like that. So I would really like to see it sometime. And I've heard very, very funny, and not the type of superhero movie I would expect. What is this made by Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Yeah, not the type of superhero movie I would expect from Marvel whatsoever, but definitely something I would go out and see for myself. So I know I haven't seen it, but sometime soon I'd love to see it. So.
Our next movie is Rogue One, which is a Star Wars story. It is a great movie because it kind of encompasses everything that has already been said in the Star Wars universe into one movie, and it was just a great addition to the series, and I would recommend it.
I've not seen Rogue One. I was never really a fan of Star Wars when it came out. It was just, I don't know. It's space stuff. The fantasy stuff just never really interested me. So Rogue One, haven't seen and I probably won't ever see, but I've heard a lot of great stuff about it, and how it was a great addition to the whole sequel. And so like I said, haven't seen it, probably won't see it, but yeah, definitely made it on our best of 2016 list. So next movie, we got Finding Dory. What are you going to say about that, Jodelyn?
That was a cute movie. After the 2003 Finding Nemo, you never really expected them to make a sequel to it. But I feel like this sequel was very entertaining, and I felt like it was a very important movie to have. And so I'm glad that they made it.
I watched it when it first came out, and I thought it was great. I definitely wasn't expecting a sequel to the Finding Nemo. I didn't even know it was going to be a series, but this one was great, and really went on more about how Dory grew up and her memory whole problem there. But it was great. It was a great addition to the Finding Nemo series, so definitely can't complain about that one.
Our next movie is Doctor Strange, which is another Marvel movie. And this movie was quite different from all the other ones, where the main character didn't fight very much physically, but he fought mostly mentally. And the visuals for this movie was probably the best visuals I've ever seen in a movie. It was great. What about you, Connor?
I've never seen it, and I have actually never even heard of it until we decided to throw this one on the list. But from the reviews I read, it was great. Like Jodelyn said, the visuals were excellent, and that's something I'm really into. I like great. I mean, you can have a great storyline, and it can be crappy camera work, but you gotta have if it's crappy camera work, it's not gonna be anything fun to watch. So visuals, I've heard are great about this, and I've actually never even, I don't even know really the storyline of Doctor Strange, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it. So it's definitely something I wouldn't mind checking out on my own time. So next movie we got on the list is Hacksaw Ridge. Jodelyn, have you seen this movie?
No, I haven't, but I feel like it will be interesting, so maybe I'll have to watch it. What about you?
I've seen it, and it was, in my opinion, it was a great movie. I love the story, and yeah, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's mainly about this kid who he isn't allowed to, based on his religion, isn't allowed to touch a gun, and he wants to serve in the military as a medic, blah, blah, blah. He eventually gets through the whole training and everything, and comes out on top by saving a bunch of soldiers, and yeah, it was great, and really had me on the edge of my seat at some points. Very suspenseful, and like Doctor Strange, excellent visuals, excellent camera work, and yeah, I liked how it was based. I think it was Vietnam War, so it was based on that time period, and yeah, I don't know. I thought the colors were great. Really, I don't know, it just matched the setting of the whole war theme of the movie. So overall, Hacksaw Ridge was a great movie, and I would highly recommend it to anybody, whether or not you like war movies or action movies. It was a great movie. You gotta check it out.
Next on our list are the 5 upcoming movies in 2017 and our thoughts. Our first movie is Pirates in the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales.
This one I have heard of, and it was I kind of have the same feelings towards it, like the Ice Age series, because Pirates of the Caribbean came out, I think, like 2004 or something. I just remember it came out when I was in like kindergarten, first grade. So, and it was great. And then they kept making all the other ones, and I thought they were pretty good. But it's 2017 now. I feel like they would have stopped. I'm not saying they should, but I mean, I'll be able to tell after I see this one. But I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean is great in my opinion. I just feel like I don't even know what number this is. It might be the 5th. I think it actually is the 5th. But in my opinion, right now, I think they shouldn't make this one. But we'll see after I watch the movie how I feel about it. What do you guys say about it?
I do feel like it could be good, but it also could be bad because, like Connor said, it's been the 5th one,
Yeah.
and there's been way too many of these, and you just don't know anymore whether it'll be good or not.
Yeah. Next one we got Transformers: The Last Night. This one I am really looking forward to because the Transformers series. I really love the Transformers series. The first one, second one, third one's great. I think this is the 4th one. It might even be the 5th one. I can't keep track, but I don't know. I feel like they're making too many, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, but at the same time, I'm really looking forward to it because I love the Transformers series. It's actually one of my favorite movies ever. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We'll see how it turns out after I watch it. So.
Our next movie is World War Z 2, and I haven't seen this movie, but I feel like it could be good. What about you, Connor?
Yeah, the first one was great. I really love World War Z. Definitely not something I would expect a sequel to, but World War Z 2, we'll see how that ends up. But, yeah, hopefully they keep all the same actors. I'm sure Brad Pitt's going to still be the main character, but, yeah, I really love the first one, and it wasn't a scary movie, but it definitely had me on the edge of my seat at times, and definitely World War Z 2 is going to be something I'll check out for sure. So.
Our next movie is SpiderMan Homecoming, which I'm actually excited for. It is another Marvel movie, and they have a whole new actor once again playing Spider-Man, but I do feel like it could be good. There's many movies by Marvel that have been good in the past few years and past few months, and I feel like this one could be one of them. What about you, Connor?
Spider-Man Homecoming sounds kind of cheesy. I don't know, just the Homecoming and even the graphics on the cover. It was like a piece of notebook paper. It just seems like it's gonna be some. I don't know. I mean, I know the main character is supposed to be in high school, but Homecoming, I don't know. It just sounds kind of cheesy. It sounds like it's going to be some high school drama movie or like some high school dance lame stuff. But I love the Spider-Man series since the very first one. And, yeah, and then they're having a new actor in this one, which I'm not looking forward to. I don't know. I just feel like they're making too many. Just like all these other sequels that are coming out. It's like just, I don't know, seems pointless. But we'll see how it turns out after, we'll see how it turns out when it comes out. But I'll have to check it out because I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man series. So, next one we got Thor Ragnarok. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, Thor Ragnarok. I'm not a huge fan of the Thor, like Captain America, all that stuff. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of it, so I don't really know what to expect with this one. Other ones I have seen, I've fallen asleep through, so probably going to happen again with this one. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I'll probably check it out. I know my family's into that, into Thor and Captain America and those movies, so we'll see how it is. But what do you guys say about it, Jodelyn?
Yeah, I feel like it couldn't be bad. There's once again too many movies like this, sequels upon sequels upon sequels. It could go on, and I feel like it should stop while it still can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then.
Well, seeing how we are on time, we got a few more minutes left. Through Guardians of the Galaxy on here, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And I've never seen the first one. We'll talk a little bit about it. I haven't seen the first one. I really don't even know what it's about. But I know my family has seen the first one. I'll probably wind up seeing it, first one and the second one. But like I said, don't really know what it's about, but not something I'm opposed to watching. So what do you got to say about that one?
Yeah, for me, I have seen this movie. I do like the movie very much. I have this movie, and I feel like from the trailer, it's very, very, very good, which I expect by this time. Chris Pratt in the original was just awesome in it, and I can't wait to see him again in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Sweet. And then, like we said at the beginning, we're going to talk about this new movie, Split, that came out. And, which I actually just watched last night. It was actually really, really good. It's an M. Night Shyamalan. He's the director. M. Night Shyamalan made the movie. And I've seen his other movies, like The Visit. Actually, The Visit's the only one I've seen, but I know he's made The Village and, and Signs, I think, is the other one. Or The Sign, I don't know. But I am, I was very, very pleased with this one. Saw it last night in theaters, and it really wasn't that scary. Like, the trailer made it look really scary and kind of horror movie-ish, but it really wasn't. Just about this guy who has multiple personalities. He kidnapped these 3 girls. I thought it was going to be more about the girls getting out and getting away from this man, as opposed to it being more focused on the guy, because the whole movie, the main character was a guy. I don't even know his real name. I think it was Kevin, but he had so many personalities that had other names, so I don't really know what to call him. But the movie was more focused on this guy and not focused on how the girls were going to escape. So I was I wasn't disappointed about that. It was just what I was expecting by seeing the trailer, but yeah, and there were some parts that kind of made me made my heart race, and wasn't very suspenseful, because I could kind of tell where the movie was going, but like the whole time the guy was keeping these girls in his basement or whatever, or which I thought was his basement. We had no idea. There were no windows or anything, so we knew it was a basement of some sort. It was underground. But yeah, so we were just like wondering, like, where the heck are they, and where? Yeah, I didn't even know where this movie was taking place, and finally it ended up being they were trapped under a zoo, like the Philadelphia Zoo. So it was like the first dose of sunlight throughout the whole movie. So overall, it was a great movie. Like I said, it wasn't what I was expecting, but I thought it was great. And M. Night Shyamalan is known for those types of movies. And yeah, so definitely something you need to check out. You got anything to say about it, Jodelyn?
I haven't seen this movie yet, but I'm thinking about seeing it. I'm not much into scary movies, but maybe I'll see it, who knows. But it sounds pretty good if it's not like too scary, if it's just a little creepy.
Yeah.
But I feel like I may like it. I'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. But anyway, so that about wraps it up for this episode of Movie Mania. Thanks again for tuning in and listening to our thoughts on the best movies of 2016, the worst movies, and some up-and-coming movies of 2017. Thank you all for watching. I am Connor.
And I'm Jodelyn.
And we will see you guys next time for another episode of Movie Mania. Thank you guys.